Sam and myself both work in the wine and spirit industry and both have a deep, passionate love for all things distilled spirits. So as the red-blooded Americans we are, we vow to have a drink in our hand throughout this show and every single show. Mr. Graham, you finally brought the whiskey you were supposed to bring last week.
Yes, I did. I finally remembered it. This is the Bull Run Distilling Company, an American whiskey aged for 15 years, finished in 11 months rather in sherry casks. This is a single barrel selection for the syndicate, so it is available at both Drug City and Allview if there's any left. And as usual, they picked a motherfucking banger.
Yeah, they got some of the best palates in the business.
125.22 proof that gives you an alcohol content of 62.61% by volume. It'll fuck you up, but it's goddamn delicious.
And you said American whiskey, but it is a bourbon mash bill.
Yeah.
So just bourbon aged
in a used cask.
oak barrel.
Yeah.
But honestly, with the sherry barrel,
a lot of people
need to be new.
Yeah, a lot of people do that just to keep the cost down, especially when they're finishing in sherry or port or what have you.
When it's a 15-year-old whiskey. So
the other thing is nobody fucking drinks sherry and port anymore. So there's
Right.
a lot of places like Glenfiddich and in the Scotch world and in bourbon that have to buy full fucking barrels just to dump the wine on the side of the distillery so they have a sherry barrel.
And those are the ones who have good connects with sherry and port business, right? Where they can actually, like you look at somebody like Redbreast who flat out works with Latassu, like, they can get those barrels. Yes.
I heard that sherry sales went down 25% when Winston Churchill died.
That does not surprise me. Look at you making the old dated reference.
Yeah, I black out essentially from like 1975 to 1992.
Right.
But anything prior to that or after that, I know what the fuck you're talking about.
So a lot of sherry barrels these days are actually going through. You go through brokers, right? And because, like you said, they're not selling enough sherry to actually produce enough barrels. In some instances, they're just taking like French or Hungarian oak, which is what they typically use over in Europe, just throwing cooking sherry in them and rolling them around for a year and dumping them just so that you get the, quote, sherry flavor. So when you're looking for sherry barrels, look for something that's long finished so that the sherry has an opportunity to really impact the whiskey, which is in the case of this. Or
long finish, we're talking like north of 6 months.
Yeah, normally an average finish is somewhere between 4 to 8. Is
right.
Like, you think of like the Whistle Pig 12-year-old, the marriage.
Exactly.
That is, I think, 6 weeks on all 3 of those finishes.
But this is in particular just a damn good fucking whiskey. It doesn't drink like it's 125 proof, which is dangerous, of course. But you get all that sherry flavor right up front. You get that bit of dark chocolate, a couple little nutty notes in there. It's just phenomenal stuff. And then the vanilla and caramel to finish that you would get traditionally from a bourbon, essentially, from a bourbon mash bill. It's just fantastic, this bottle of whiskey. I love it. I'm really hoping all of you's got another bottle.
Because you're going to buy another?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm going to pour myself more of that, by the way, before the night's over.
This is going to be gone.
Yeah, that ain't making it home tonight, is it?
I don't think it is.
No. Well, what else should we do, Mr. Graham?
If this bottle doesn't make it, I might not be doing that either. Just make sure you always drink responsibly, ladies and gentlemen.
Good. Let's have a great show, good sir.
Let's do it. Come on.
Cheers it up. We got a bunch.